Lots of bowl games were on yesterday, and one of the ones that may not be receiving a ton of respect compared to the Outback Bowl and a few others is, well, the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. Now, Stanford ended up beating Wisconsin 20-14. Their two opening drives were stellar, going up 14-0 early. Again, scoring on back-to-back possessions, but again, a 20-14 win. Stanford defeated 5-loss going into this game, Wisconsin. Now, the reason that Wisconsin was eligible, if you're late to this, it's because Ohio State and Penn State were ineligible from participating in the Big Ten championship game. So it was Wisconsin against Nebraska. They absolutely steamrolled Nebraska, but their offense was tested. Now, one of the things that occurred prior to the buildup of the Rose Bowl was their longtime head coach, Brett Bielema, took the Arkansas job. So he did not coach on the sidelines. Barry Alvarez, who was their longtime head coach, hasn't coached in 7 years, but their winningest coach in Badgers history, took over the reins as head coach for one game. He was paid, I believe, $118,000 for this one game, and he would have received $50,000 if they won. Now, one of the bigger plays of the game, Wisconsin 4th and 1 in the second quarter. Barry Alvarez decides to run the Wildcat with James White, who was not bad at all in this game. Neither was Monty Ball. If there's any less appreciated college football player, it's probably Monty Ball. So James White runs the Wildcat, tries to power it in. The offensive line gets zero push, and they are stopped inside the 1-yard line. Fortunately for them, they would score on the next possession with Monty Ball. Ball now has 83 career touchdowns. That's an FBS record. Now in the fourth quarter, Stanford are inside the Wisconsin 5. And their offense stalled. They settled for 3, 20-14. This game is within range. But then quarterback Kurt Phillips, who has not been great at all this year, throws a late interception. It was totally unfortunate because it went off one of the Stanford defensive linemen's helmet. So Usama Amanaman made the interception with 2:30 left. Their first Rose Bowl in 40 years for the Cardinal. They've been waiting a long time for this. Now, this is a team that has lost Toby Gerhart, one of the best running backs I've ever seen in the Pac-12. They lost Andrew Luck, in order, Toby Gerhart, head coach Jim Harbaugh, and Andrew Luck. David Shaw takes over, and they have a 12-win season. They go 12-2 this year. Pretty unbelievable stuff, and David Shaw's phone has probably been ringing off the hook as many NFL teams are vacant in the head coaching position. Hell of a story from David Shaw and Stanford. Now, Wisconsin, their third consecutive loss in 3 years at the Rose Bowl, 2-6 in games decided by 7 points. The Stanford defense in the second half was astoundingly good. They gave up 0 points, 82 yards of total offense, 4 first downs allowed. 12 wins for Stanford, the second time in school history. Monty Ball, 24 carries, 100 yards, 1 touchdown. Again, an FBS record, 83rd touchdown. Stanford, in the second half, they only had 3 second-half points, but it was their 8th straight win. And this year, they beat Oregon in Eugene. Earlier in the year, they beat USC. They were overshadowed from these two programs in the Pac-12 routinely throughout the year and proved why they deserve to be in the Rose Bowl. One thing really quickly, though, tight end Zach Ertz, 3 catches for 61 yards. He's 6'6", 252 pounds. They were talking about how big of a player he's going to be in the Rose Bowl. Only having 3 catches. I understand it was a very run-oriented game, a defensive game. You got to get Zach Ertz the ball, man. That guy's freaking huge. You got to get him the ball. So again, the Achilles heel for Wisconsin is simply this. They didn't have good quarterback play. The offensive line was not great. And not only that, they couldn't get a push up front, and they simply don't have a number 2 receiver. That's pretty much what it came down to. 20-14 win for Stanford. Congratulations to them at the Rose Bowl.